Hi, I'm Ed Davey. I'm leader of the Liberal Democrats, and it's great to be here being talked to and questioned by Good Housekeeping and their readers. And I'm not surprised that people are disillusioned and fed up with MPs. I've been a carer most of my life. Why don't we let asylum seekers work? So we don't have to pay for their hotels and they can actually contribute to the economy and pay taxes. Deborah, the cost of living crisis is hitting so many people. Higher mortgages, higher rents, energy bills and food bills. If food shopping has really hit people hard, we've got two things we'd like to do on that. First of all, getting behind British farmers who've had the toughest of times. And I'm worried that because they're not able to produce as much as they were, that's going to hit food prices, particularly our vegetables and staples. We also want to have a better trade deal with Europe, because the bad trade deal that the Conservatives agreed has also put pressure up on food prices. We want to make sure that children from very deprived backgrounds and poorer backgrounds get help with free school meals. I hate the idea of children going hungry. I think a more stable economy will bring interest rates down. I think we need to build more homes. Well, there are two or three things we want to do for that. First of all, we want to make sure that many people who go to hospital don't have to go to hospital by making sure they can see their GP. We want to increase the number of GPs by 8,000 and support local pharmacies so people end up getting that care in their local community and don't have to go to hospital, relieving pressure on the hospitals. The second thing is we want to invest in care so that people who are stuck in hospital because there's no care package for them or no care home place can get out of hospital more quickly. That's good for them, and it frees up places so we can tackle those waiting lists. I agree, Liberal Democrats have been leading the campaign against the sewage scandal. It's so disgusting, awful that the sewage companies and the water companies have been allowed to pump their sewage into our rivers and our lakes and our seas. So we've got a plan to toughen the regulator, a new regulator called the Clean Water Authority, giving them powers not just from Ofwat, but the Environment Agency itself, investing in more inspectors, we call them sewage busters. In terms of the cost, I think the water companies should bear the cost. They've been borrowing billions of pounds to pay their shareholders lots of money and their bosses. It's now time the regulators force them to make that investment that we need. Well, I think we've seen the last government, a lot of scandal, a lot of crisis, a lot of division. And I'm not surprised that people are disillusioned and fed up with MPs. But we do need a healthy democracy. Liberal Democrats want to change our political system so it is more representative, so it is more open. I'm really proud that in my parliamentary party at the moment we have a majority of women. And I think that can help change the nature of debate. There's many things that Liberal Democrats want to improve, but we've put at the heart of our manifesto rescuing the NHS and sorting out our care system. I've been a carer most of my life. My father died when I was 4. And when my mum became terminally ill when I was 12, I nursed her till she died when I was 15. My nana then looked after me, and then I looked after my nana. And then I have a disabled son, and I look after him with my wife, Emily, who also has MS. So I've known about caring a lot. I've known about the importance of our health service, and I'm passionate about it. And when I tell my story to people, what's really interesting, so many people have had caring responsibilities like I've had. There are millions of people with similar stories to mine. And I'm determined that we build a parliament, we do a politics where we put carers first. And I've said I want to be the voice of carers. It's so important. It's important for reforming and rescuing our NHS, but politicians have just forgotten about it, and I want to change that. I'm obviously a man and I've been caring in my life, but I note that most of the caring is done by women. And I think if we valued caring more, supported families more in that caring role, and made carers a much more professional and valued profession, I think that would have huge benefits to women and to the rest of society. I think we have a real fantastic opportunity, actually, if we go into renewable power and also insulating people's homes. We can get people's energy bills down. That would be a good idea. We create lots of jobs. And I think Britain can be a world leader in the industries of the future. For example, clean flight, zero flight. Wouldn't that be exciting? And many other actual technologies like tidal power. And if we can do that in this country, it will benefit us, but we'll be able to export that technology and those ideas, and that would be great for our long-term economy. Well, I agree. The current system run by the Conservatives is not working. Let me talk about asylum. You mentioned people having to live in hotels while the Home Office processes their applications. This is another Conservative failure, I'll be frank with you. There are so many thousands of people waiting for years sometimes to have their asylum application processed. We would do it differently. First of all, we'd really try to make sure we get those processing times down so it's done much more quickly. And if people don't have a right to be here, they'd be deported. But also, in the meantime, why don't we let asylum seekers work? So we don't have to pay for their hotels and they can actually contribute to the economy and pay taxes. That's a much better deal for the taxpayer. Liberal Democrats are very much against the small boat crossing. We want to stop them. The real question is how. The Rwanda scheme has proved a gross failure, very expensive failure. So we've got alternatives. The first thing we do is we work with our European partners and other countries around the world to crack down on the criminal gangs, the human traffickers that are trading on people's misery. And if we tackle that at source, then you'd have a big impact. I'll be frank, I spent it with my family. I think my wife would be a bit cross with me if I didn't come home and see her and our two children. John, my lovely 16-year-old boy, he's severely disabled and he needs some support, and it's fun being with him actually. And what we do as a family, we go for walks and we go swimming. That gives John exercise. He's on his tricycle and he loves splashing around, and so does Daddy.